Hi everyone, I'm Kanagaraj, Faculty for Agriculture. So in this session, we will discuss about the upcoming test series for 2026 mains. So I will provide you elaborate the roadmap for how you should approach the syllabus and how you should practice for answer writing and how can you effectively utilize this test series. Okay. So regarding test series, already you might have seen the schedule. So the test consists of totally 13 tests, 8 sectional tests and 1 revision test and 2 full mark test, full length test series. So since this test series is for next year mains, so I have given enough time gap. For every test, I have given a 2 weeks time gap. I feel it's sufficient to cover the syllabus. And moreover, I have divided the syllabus into major parts. So we have 8 sectional tests. So your approach should be for the test series based on the recent trend we have to prepare. So this test series also I have thoroughly revised the test series when compared to previous test. Here I have modified some questions and I have changed the approach also. So the recent trend in our UPSC optional paper, they are asking more micro topic society questions. That means earlier the questions were very general and very broader in nature. But nowadays they go in depth in the syllabus and they ask more number of micro topic specific questions. So this is a recent trend in our agri optional paper. So for that, we have to decode the entire syllabus. So in our test series, before every test, I will provide the detailed decoding of the syllabus. For example, so our first test related to ecology and environment science and a cropping system. So this is for our test one syllabus. It's going to start from October 15. So based on the syllabus topic, we need to decode the syllabus. So what are the possible questions we can expect from this area and what are the areas we have to cover? Okay, so what are the subtopics within the main topic? Because the main problem in our agri optional syllabus in a UPSC, actually our agri syllabus is very elaborate. Since it's a science-based paper, it's a very elaborate paper. We have to study more than 20 subjects in our agri optional paper. But the problem is the syllabus given is very in a brief manner, not in an elaborate manner. So if you see the botany syllabus, they have given it very elaborately. So each and every topic, if you compare on a simple example, if you compare the cell biology area and botany and agriculture, the syllabus is common. Okay, for us, botany and agriculture, many topics are common. So in the botany syllabus, if you see the cell biology area, you can find that even at the cell organelle level, they have given the syllabus. They decoded the syllabus. You can find what are the cell organelles we have to study. But in our agri optional syllabus, they have just mentioned that cell structure and function, cell cycle, that's all. So for the entire cell biology, just a 2-line syllabus. So the main challenge for us, decoding of the entire syllabus, what are the areas we have to cover, what are the possible question, which area is important. So these are the major challenge for us, right? So that's why before every test, after this orientation, after this today's orientation, I will provide this, I will create a separate Telegram channel. Then before every test, I will share this document so that you can prepare based on this document. So what are the areas you have to cover? You'll get a clear idea. Okay. So for every topic, I have prepared this based on the recent trend. See how much area I have to cover. Okay. So just one line syllabus, agricultural extension, its importance and a role, right? So these are the areas we have to cover. Okay. This much area. All these topics are important, right? So you'll get a clear idea. Right. And apart from this, what they are expecting in the recent, based on this recent change in the UPSC question setting. So what UPSC is actually expecting, you should cover the entire syllabus. So why they are focusing on the micro-specific question? Because you should cover the entire syllabus. So syllabus completion is very important. So based on that, I have designed this test series. Okay, so it covers the entire syllabus with a proper time gap, and finally we'll be having a revision test as well as full mark test, okay, full length test, right? So this is what they're expecting, covering the entire syllabus. You cannot skip any part of the syllabus, right? Because in the big question, they're asking many sub questions. So it's okay. Earlier, mostly they ask one single general question. Discuss the application of remote sensing in agriculture, or discuss the application of molecular markers in agriculture. But nowadays they are asking in-depth application, very specific application for a particular topic. Okay, so in that case, you need to cover the syllabus thoroughly. So this is what UPSC is expecting. Okay, you should not. Okay, we cannot skip any part of the syllabus. Then they are expecting, since it's a science-based or optional, they are expecting very specific answer. So that's why in the recent trend, one more trend in the question paper, for in some questions, they are even giving the answer. So these are the major headings we are going to write. So for many topics, many questions, they are giving, literally they are giving answer. So inclusion of the keywords, hints, subheadings, everything in the question itself, right? So that means they are forcing you to write only for those points. We cannot write any extra story, right? So they are expecting very specific answer from you, right? So we need to prepare based on that. We need to understand what the UPSC is demanding. Based on the demand of the UPSC, you have to prepare, right? So your preparation should be focused on this area, and you have to do the smart work, right? And recently there are a lot of indirect questions are coming. Why and how type of questions. As a science student, since it's a science-based or optional, so they are expecting some level of deeper understanding of the topic. So why it's happening, right? So how it is done. So these type of questions are very common, and this year they asked about this. Why vegetative propagation, right? In the fruit croplands, vegetative propagation is why it is commonly done, right? What are the advantages for the vegetative propagation in the fruit plants? Okay, so these type of questions are very common nowadays. And then package of practices and crop specific questions are again one of the important area, right? So package of practices for the various croplands. Nowadays they are asking 2-3 questions, both in paper 1 as well as paper 2. So this year they asked cotton in the paper 1, and in the paper 2, grapes and pea, right? Peas. Actually, based on my experience, I predicted some crops, and this year I asked cotton in my test series question. So in the 2025 mains test series question, I asked cotton, and they asked the same question in the exam, right? So based on my experience, I've been in this field for the last 10 years. So based on my experience, I predict a lot of questions, so the sub questions, and many times more than 70% of questions appeared in the UPSC, our main exam. Okay, right. So if you follow the test series, religiously, if you follow the test series, then definitely you can able to get better marks in the UPSC mains. Definitely, I can share. You can able to cross more than, because currently the highest mark in any optional, only in agriculture, in any optional, the highest score is in the range of 280 plus. Okay, so this is the highest score in any optional. So definitely you can able to cross this mark. Okay, right. So this test series is designed based on the recent trend. Okay, so coming to your approach for this test series and your mains preparation, right? So many of you may have to be freshers, and so maybe you are going to mains for the first time next year. So how you should prepare, plan your preparation. So regarding our agriculture optional, my suggestion is actually, this is your mains preparation time. Okay, usually before December. So this test series it will go up to February. So usually my suggestion is you have to complete the mains area, particularly the optional, before December, but you can take till January, February, right? Then after that, you can focus on the prelims area, right? So this is the correct time. In this time period, you have to finish the entire optional, because next year after prelims, you won't get enough time. So you'll be having only 4 months or three months a time period. That is okay only for revision and your GS preparation. So you need to prepare 4 GS papers and essay also. So it is very difficult to manage optional paper at the time. Okay, you cannot freshly prepare for optional at the time. So you should complete the optional paper in this time period, at least before December. Okay, that's why I launched this test series in October. Okay, for the next 4 months. Right. So the first thing you have to do, syllabus decoding. So you don't need to worry about that. I will send the document before every test. I will send this document. Okay, the decoding of the entire syllabus. Right. So based on that, you can understand what are the possible questions and what are the areas we have to cover. So either if you are referring standard reference books, or if you are referring my material or any other material, and you have to find those topic in the material or in the reference books. Right. Based on that, you have to prepare the short notes. Right. Then, so after decoding the entire syllabus, then we have to go through the PYQ. Again, for the PYQ, I have already prepared a micro topic wise PYQ compilation. Right. So based on these micro topics, I have prepared the PYQ compilation for both paper and paper 2. So if you go through the document for the last 10 years, that's enough. Okay, no need to go beyond 20 or 15 years, not necessary. So for the last 10 years, it's more than sufficient. So if you go through the last 10 years PYQ analysis for the micro topic wise, you'll understand what type of questions they're asking. And you can also see the evolution of the nature of the question, right? In 2017, from the molecular biology, okay, so sorry, the molecular markers topic. So the syllabus topic is very simple, just one line, molecular markers and their application in agriculture, right? So in 2017, from the same topic, they asked one question, discuss the application of molecular markers in agriculture. So directly from the syllabus, right? So general question, very generic. Again, from the same topic, they asked one question, okay, 2020, applications of molecular markers with a special reference to marker assisted selection. So actually this MAS is one of the applications under the molecular markers in agriculture. So we need to give elaborate answer regarding this MAS. Then in 2025, this year, from the same topic, they asked only about MAS. Okay, what is MAS? What do you understand by the markers selection? And within the MAS, they asked about recurrence selection, how they are useful for recurrence selection, how they are useful for the gene integration, how they are useful for the gene pyramiding, right? So see the nature of question, okay, how they are setting the question, you can see the evolution of the question, right? So earlier, the questions are very general, very generic, but nowadays the questions are very specific, okay, right? So it will, you can able to understand how they are asking questions and what changes in the recent times, okay? It will be useful for you. So after the PVQ analysis, you will get an idea, right? Based on the syllabus decoding and the PVQ analysis, you will get an idea how to approach a syllabus topic, right? So based on that, we have to prepare the short notes. The short notes should be very short, because if you take elaborate notes, then it will take a lot of time. You'll not be able to cover the entire syllabus. It's very difficult. The short notes should be very short. That means just only the major headings and the key points and examples. Okay, so don't write any elaborate notes. You can fill it in your own words, no problem, right? Just note down the important definition and then the key points, the major subheadings and examples, right? So you should prepare in this way. Otherwise, if you find it very difficult to prepare the short notes, my suggestion is just prepare a skeleton, right? For a particular area, particular topic, what are the topics are covered? What are the different dimensions are there? Just to prepare a skeleton. Okay, for example, in our syllabus, there is one single topic called exploitation of heterosis. Just one topic, okay? Exploitation of heterosis in our plant breeding in agriculture. So this is syllabus topic, just one line. And you can see the dimension for the exploitation of heterosis. We can divide them into two: partial exploitation and full exploitation. under the partial, synthetics, composites, under the full exploitation, intervarietal hybrids, and then distant hybridization. Under the distant hybridization, interspecific and intergeneric. Okay, so this is the overall flow chart, and each question is here, each topic is a separate question, right? So we need to analyze in this way. So for the simple topic, exploitation of heterosis, we have to cover all these dimensions. So either you have to prepare short notes for each and every topic, or just make a skeleton for every topic. So these are the areas I have studied. These are the topics I have covered so far. So my answer should be, you need to do brainstorming. After covering every topic, you have to do brainstorming. You have to recall the points you have studied, so that you can pull this information, okay, at the time of examination while writing the answer. Because many students, they face this problem. While writing the answer in the exam, they forgot everything, right? So what are the hard work they are putting while preparing or while making notes, okay, everything. But at the time of while writing the exam, so many students, they give this feedback. Sir, I forgot everything. I unable to recollect any points. So the problem here is, while doing preparation itself, in the 2 weeks of time gap, don't study till the last minute. So you have to divide the 14 days a time period, 14 days a time gap is there. So you can allocate the 12 days or 10 to 12 days for the studying the topic, the last 2 days for the revision. So do entire revision of your short notes, right? And think about the points you have studied. Recall every points. Don't look at the notes, okay? Don't look at the books, okay? The notes are the material. So without seeing the notes, without seeing the book material, just recall every points. Try to do the brainstorming, right? So if you do this revision in this way, then you can able to pull all the information at the time of writing the exam, right? So these are the homework you have to do for this test series. So in the time gap, the 2 weeks time gap, go through the analysis syllabus and the PVK analysis, and then prepare the short notes in the question answer format. Why I'm telling this the question answer format? Because agriculture is a static subject. It's a science-based subject. So most of the questions we can expect in the mostly based on the syllabus. I have given the decoding, right? Most of the question is based on the syllabus point only, right? Directly from the syllabus. So if you prepare the short notes in the question answer format, you can save a lot of time. So when you come to the examination, most of the questions are on the expected line. So you can replicate the same answer in the exam paper. So we can save a lot of time. Time management is also easy in this case. And moreover, you can able to give the full answer, perfect answer for every question. Okay. Right. And then, so how you should approach the paper 1, paper 2? Because the approach is different for paper 1, paper 2. So in our syllabus, we have in the paper 1, there are 10 subjects are there, and the paper 2 nearly 10 subjects are there. So in the paper 1 area, actually in our test series, it goes alternatively. Paper 1, okay, if you see the test schedule, you can see that the tests are from paper 1, paper 2 alternatively. So first test from the paper 1, ecology environment cropping system. Second test from the paper 2, cell biology and genetics. Again, third test, weed science and irrigation. Fourth test, plant breeding. Okay, right. So the approach for the paper 1, actually, if you see the toppers answer copies and toppers marks, mostly we can exploit more score in the paper 2. So getting score is very high in the paper 2. It's very easy when compared to paper 1. But at the same time, in terms of the coverage of the syllabus, it takes a very long time. Okay, so for the paper 2, many topics are very elaborate: plant breeding, cell biology, genetics, and the plant physiology. So it takes a lot of time to cover the area. Paper 1 you can easily complete, but the problem is scoring is difficult. Because in paper 1, many topics are very generic in nature, very general, regarding this ecology environment topic, extension farm management, right? And then a soil science area, the soil and water conservation, watershed management, dryland agriculture, forestry. So many topics are very general, right? So to write answer for those type of questions, the answer should be very specific. At the same time, we have to include specific examples. Often, when I see the paper, okay, because every year I'm conducting more than 3-4 test series. Okay, so I'm correcting nearly I'm seeing nearly more than 200, 300 papers every season. Okay, so only for that main season alone, because I'm conducting more than 3-4 test series at the same time, for the freshers separately, for the veterans separately, and then I'm also collaborating with the government of Tamil Nadu for the non-movable scheme. I'm also seeing their papers, and I'm also conducting test series for the next year students. Okay, already we started one batch in July. Okay, so nearly I'm seeing more than 200, 300 papers in every the season for the 6 months period. So many students, they're making this mistake. Their answers are like very generic and very general. Yeah, actually, agriculture is a science paper and applied science. It's not a pure science. So for the applied science, the main thing is we have to use proper example, because every question is application oriented. Discuss application of remote sensing. Okay, so what are the various steps in the contingency planning, right? Then what are the different type of cropping patterns in the different agricultural zones in the country? So for every topic, most of the topics are application oriented. So they forgot to mention the example. Without writing example and a specific, the diagrams also very important. Okay, so then it's very difficult to score high marks in the paper one, right? So these examples and the specific answer, the definition, everything, plus wherever possible, try to add diagrams. Again, diagrams are very important. It's a science paper. Plus, for general topics, try to include the case studies, real case studies. Okay. So the case studies are important for the topics like NGO, SHG, extension area, agri extension area. Again, the case studies are very important. KVK, Krishi Vigyan Kendra, or in case of watershed management, case studies are important. In case of environmental science, the pollution topic, climate change, climate smart agriculture, right? So for these type of topics, the case studies are important. Real successful case studies. Then some topics they require current affairs also. Actually, current affairs is not important for agriculture, optional. Questions are okay. They won't ask any current affairs question. So many students often they get confusion regarding this current affairs for agriculture. Actually, you have to remember one thing. In agriculture optional paper, they never ask current affairs questions. Current affairs are important only for validation purpose. Okay. So they won't ask any direct current affairs question in the agri optional paper. And the questions will be from our syllabus only, from the static portion only, right? So this current affairs you have to use as a validation purpose. For example, in the environmental science, for the topics like climate change area, when they ask this question, impact of climate change in the crop production, regarding this environmental pollution topic. For this area, we can include the latest developments, the efforts taken by the government, and what are the initiatives taken at the global level, right? And the topics like extension area also, some current affairs are there. And this year, actually, exactly I predicted this question, farmers first school. In our test series, I asked this question because it's part of one of the important program run by the Ministry of Agriculture. And exactly they asked the same question in this year UPSC mains, farmers first school in the extension area, right? So only for some areas, we need to refer the current affairs, not necessarily for all the topic, right? So this I will include again the approach while sending the approach for the various syllabus. I will include this where we have to add case studies, in what are the areas we need the current affairs. Everything I'll inform in the approach for the approach document itself. Okay, right. Then regarding this paper on this is a general approach, and then my suggestion is actually here we are conducting the test series section wise, but one general advice. When you attempt any question, okay, from the agriculture in the paper one area, try to attempt more specific questions. And the question contains some more subheadings, more subsection, and then wherever, okay, so the question where we can draw some diagrams. So the scope for drawing the diagrams, you have to attempt those type of questions in the paper one, okay. And regarding the technical nature, in the paper one, the topics like weed science, irrigation, soil science, nutrient management, these are the technical area. So if you attempt more question from this area, then we can get more marks. Okay, all right. Regarding paper 2, it's full of technical. Last topic, the food security area, remaining areas are technical. So here in the paper 2, again, our main focus should be, because nowadays more weightage given for the cell biology, genetics, plant breeding, seed technology also. It's getting very okay recently. They are giving more importance for seed technology, right? So these are the major weightage: seed technology, plant breeding, cell biology, genetics, and then uh, one more topic, plant physiology, right? So we need to focus on this area. So we have to cover the entire syllabus for this area. So we have, if you attempt more question from the paper 2 area, in this area, the first section. So I always tell my students that you have to attempt more question. Okay, so 3 questions from the section A, and then 2 questions from the section B, right? Because section B is highly generic. Horticulture will be there, horticulture, food security. So those questions are generally vague and very generic. So it's very difficult to score, okay, those areas, right? Actually, in the paper 2 area, the approach is same, but you need to include the scientist name also while writing regarding genetics, plant breeding. So when you write the theory or any concept regarding the cell organelle, so you have to mention the scientist name. So who discovered the process, who invented the process. So you have to include the scientific in the introduction itself. Okay. And then again, diagrams are important. Okay, so your answer writing, how you should produce the answer in the paper. Finally, so the answer writing should be first, okay, the marks are based on these are the 4 important criteria. Based on that, we give marks. Okay. So for a 10-mark question, maximum you can get 5.5 to 6 marks in the test series. Okay. So in the mains paper also, in the real exam also, they give maximum. For the extraordinary answer, they give 6.5. That's all. Right? They won't give more than that. And again, for 20-mark question, the maximum score you can get 12.5 to 13. That's all. Okay. And for a 10-mark question, 2 pages. 20-mark question, 3 pages. Okay. All right. So the main challenge here is, for the 20-mark question, it's a big question, but you have to contain the answer within 3 pages. That's another challenge. You know, a lot of information sometimes, but the difficulty is you have to contain entire information within those 3 minutes. So 3 pages. Okay. So here the problem is, while writing the answer itself, you have to mentally have to prepare the structure. So how you should produce the answer, how you are going to write the answer, what should be the introduction, what should be the main body, and then conclusion. Everything. So before writing every question, you have to mentally have to do this the structuring of the answer. You have to take at least maybe 5-10 seconds you can take to prepare the quick structure of the answer, and then start writing answer for every question. So don't immediately after seeing the question, don't write immediately. Okay. First structure of the question. Regarding the structure, a proper introduction is must be there. A proper introduction is very, very important. Then the main body, and then finally when conclusion is again conclusion is important, right? For any question you have to mention the conclusion, and no need to write this introduction, conclusion and all. Okay, so no need to give heading for introduction, conclusion, not necessary. If you're writing the first para, that's the introduction, and the last para is the conclusion. Okay, right. So in the introduction, we don't to worry about an agriculture optional. We don't to worry about this introduction too much, right? Just if you are writing the definition, that's the introduction. For every topic, if you are giving proper definition, then that's the introduction. No need to worry about that, right? Then after that, the main body, you need to give the subheadings. So always try to classify the topic into different subheadings, organize the topic into different subheading. Finally, the conclusion. Regarding this conclusion, for many students, they are facing difficulty in the conclusion. Again, they are thinking at the time of writing the answer. Again, the problem is it will take a lot of time, right? So don't think conclusion in the exam hall. Everything should be predetermined. So that's why I'm telling that while preparing the short note itself, your answer, your structure should, the short note should contain proper structure with the question answer format. This is the introduction I'm going to give. This is the main, okay? This is the main answer I'm going to give. Conclusion and give, right? So for every topic, every question, you need to prepare this advance. You should have a ready-made answer for everything, right? So don't think conclusion in the exam hall, right? It will take a lot of time. So regarding conclusion, very simple idea. See the nature of the question. In agriculture, we have only 2-3 type of conclusions we can give. If the question is purely technical, because most of the questions are technical question. So if the questions are purely technical, then think about why this topic is important, why we are studying about this topic, right? So the conclusion should be why we need to understand this topic. What is the significance or the importance of the topic? That should be the conclusion. If the question is purely technical, right? For example, if the question is about discuss the loss of inheritance or loss of heredity, right? Then the conclusion is very simple. The loss of inheritance, by studying or understanding the loss of inheritance. So only after the Mendel's, okay, the rediscovery of the Mendel's work, and we understand, okay, after understanding this loss of inheritance, that paved the way for the foundation for the modern genetics, because this is a part of the classical genetics that provided the way for the modern genetics. It laid the foundation for the plant breeding genetics, right? Ultimately, there's a importance of the studying of this topic, right? So why you need to understand loss of inheritance? It will be useful for our future genetics and plant breeding. Okay. Similarly, in the paper one, in the weed science, one technical question like critical period of wheat competition. Critical period of wheat competition. So for this question also again, the answer is, the conclusion is like, why we need to understand this topic. After writing this definition and the examples, everything, the factors affecting everything, finally we'll conclude the question. We can say that understanding of critical period of wheat competition is very important for the better management of the weeds. Okay, so we can conclude like this. Very simple conclusion, just 2-3 lines conclusion. Whereas if the question is regarding challenges, if they ask about problems, difficulties, challenges of any topic, challenges of organic farming, what are the problems in the IPM adaptation? If the question is like this, then we can give the conclusion is like a way forward like conclusion, right? So when they ask about the challenges of the problems, you have to address the question, you have to conclude the question with a way forward. What are the steps we can take? What are the efforts taken by the government in this regard? We can also write the government initiatives. We can conclude the question by writing the government steps. Okay. So based on the nature of the question, we can give the conclusion. This you have to decide in the, well, prepare in the short note itself. Okay. Right. So every answer should contain proper structure. This is very, very important. You have to follow the structure in the answer paper. And the regarding content, so already I told you. So for every topic, we need to prepare, because they're asking negative SVC questions. So we need to prepare a proper content for every topic in the syllabus. So there is no shortcut. So we have to cover the entire syllabus. So based on the syllabus decoding, you have to prepare a minimum content for every topic in the syllabus, at least half-page notes for every topic in the syllabus. Okay, right. And regarding the content, the quality of the content is more important, not quantity, because we have word limit also there. Okay, in the compulsory question, we have the word limits. So quality of the content is very important. So regarding the quality, so many students have this doubt regarding whether in agriculture, in the science paper, whether we should elaborate a single point or we have to write more points without elaboration, because the page limit is also there. We have only 3 pages or 2 pages for the 10 and 20 marks. Okay. So my suggestion is regarding the quality of the content, we should cover as much as possible. The dimension is very important. At the same time, for every topic, you have to give a brief elaboration, right? So don't just give one-line answer. So don't just write the heading, okay? So for every topic, every heading, you can, you can fix for a 10-mark question, you can write 7 to 8 to 10 points, optimum points, okay? 8 to 10 points, that's optimum. For 20-mark question, 20 points. 15-20 points, that's optimum. Okay. So we can give based on the number of points, we can give 8 headings or the 6 to 8 headings for the 10-mark question. Under this, we can write a brief elaboration. So don't give one-line answer for any question because it's a science-based paper, more optional paper. So for the optional paper, they are expecting explanation for every topic. Okay, right. Then another important thing we have to follow while writing the answer, neat presentation. So you know the content and you know the structure, but you should present in the neat manner. So neat presentation means without overwriting and without this collected answer. Okay, many students, they know a lot of information, so they dump everything in the answer paper. So don't do that, right? So the presentation should be very neat, give equal proper spacing between the lines, and then always use the numericals to write the answer. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So always give numbers, points, right? And moreover, writing the answer, I will show some toppers answer copy. And you know, for the last 4 or 5 years, almost every topper from our academy only, the all India level, the top scores are from our test series only. See this paper, the toppers answer copy. So this is a paper of Swati Sri. She scored 303 in the optional paper, the UPSC agri optional paper. And see the way of the presentation. Apart from content, the neat presentation. And one more thing I always emphasize while writing the points, each point should be clearly visible. Okay. So many students, they bring the line here. So don't bring the line here. Okay. So it should be within this line. So if you're writing points under a particular heading, then those points should be in this margin, right? So you cannot write anything. Okay. So you should not write anything beyond this line. So everything should be within this line, so that the points can be clearly visible and it improve the neat presentation, right? And another top scorer this year, last year mains, and you can see here paper, right? See, every points are clearly visible with the proper spacing and a boxing of the side headings. And another paper you can see, one of the top scorer in the UPSC mains, and see here, okay, see here paper, the points, okay, again, every headings, the points are clearly visible, right? So while writing the answer, okay, actually they are the top scorers at the all India level. So apart from this neat structure, quality content, another important factor for the top score, okay, in our agri optional paper, the neat presentation, and then finally validation. Okay, so first, okay, why I am telling this, the order in order. These should be your priority. Okay, so first you should focus on the structure of the answer, then quality content, and then finally the neat presentation. Then finally we can focus on validation, right? Because many students, okay, without following these, they worry too much about validation. So they, okay, every time they're asking about current affairs. Okay, so how can we increase validation? Not necessary. Actually, if you follow these properly, then automatically marks will come, right? So validation finally we can do. So during our preparation, we are so everyone, current affairs is part of our preparation. So while reading current affairs, automatically when you come across any new information or news related to agriculture, we can use those information on agri optional paper if it is relevant. Okay. So don't worry about this too much about validation. So validations are nothing but giving proper examples. And regarding the examples, you can refer it from the material or the reference books. Then any current affairs, if it is relevant. Okay. And in many topics, current affairs are not important. They are very static. So don't worry about current affairs area. Only few topics of current affairs are important. Only for those areas, we can include the current affairs. Right. And then diagrams. So diagrams and a case study. So these are the validation. Okay. So giving specific examples, specific case study, diagrams, and current affairs. Right. So this we can gradually in our during our the answer writing program in every paper. Okay, gradually in every question we can improve. No need to worry about that. Right. But first your priority should be these areas. Okay. Structure, content, and presentation. Right. So in our test series, based on these parameters, I will provide the marks. Then after every test, so the program is before starting off every test, I will send this a document, syllabus decoding for every syllabus topic. You have to prepare this okay for the 2 weeks time period. Then on the day of test, we create a separate group Telegram channel for the test series students. In the Telegram channel, I will send the question and answer booklet, right? So on the day of test, I will share the question and answer booklet. You have to take printout. So don't use A4 sheet because we have to follow proper dimension. Otherwise, okay, if you're using A4 sheet, then use the UPSC dimension, the same UPSC the answer sheet dimension. Okay, so you can take printout of the answer booklet. You can, after writing the answer, scan the copy as a single PDF document. I will share one mail ID. So share your copy to the mail ID on the day of test. Then I will take 8 to 10 days for the correction, maximum 8 days for the correction. Then after correcting the paper, I will share the copy to your mail ID. Then after receiving the copy, you can call me for I will intimate the time also for feedback. We can have one-on-one feedback, right? So 10-20 minutes, we can have one-on-one feedback. You can ask all your doubts and I will clear, okay, I will give the proper idea for the every test, we can have this discussion. Okay. So this is the program. Okay, thank you. We'll see in the right. We'll see your papers. Then we can have discussion over phone. Okay. Right.